First year together, let them gel. We have some work to do. I'm gonna go to Jay first, man. Streets want a body. Who you shooting?
We spoke about this in the last episode. I'm still a big proponent of making a change. I mean, a fish stinks from the head down, and I'm not saying that the team stunk, but I think you have to start there. There's just too many glaring opportunities where we could have changed what the outcome was of this postseason. And I think it starts with the fact that we didn't get anyone ready to be in this moment, and we didn't have anybody. So when we did start putting people in, it was out of to me, it's out of necessity, and they weren't ready. None of them were ready. Even the starters that were playing weren't ready. I want to step out for a second, and I want to talk a little bit about the decision that he made. And I don't know that he made that decision. I think Josh Hart was the one who made the decision for him to come off the bench and for Mitch to be a starter. I feel like that should have been in play a long time ago. And then I have the same thoughts where it's duality, where I say to myself, I didn't like the way Josh looked coming off the bench. The whole purpose was for him to come in and provide a spark off the bench and be able to get, like put a big man in and give Cat the opportunity to play the four, which he normally plays and plays more comfortably. And then and just so we know, Mitchell Robinson played a masterful playoffs this year. Every single series, he got better. Every series.
Facts.
He got better in every single series. He played better in every series, and he embraced whatever role he was in, whether it was coming off the bench or whether it was starting. He just played better basketball. Now, with that being said, the switch was made, and you had to bring in Josh Hart. I don't know that Josh Hart ever looked good with this playing with the staggered second unit. I feel like there was a lot of turnovers. I don't feel like he ever was really in rhythm. I feel like he just was kind of like a man lost. He was just kind of on fire, just running up and down the court, which we need that energy.
He volunteered himself into that role, didn't he?
Yeah, the fact that he volunteered himself into it doesn't change the way he looked, right? Like I get what you're saying. Like I completely agree with you. Yeah, and again, that may be the narrative that was perpetuated because you don't want to make Josh Hart look like a guy where you had to bench him or anything like that. So maybe that's just what was put out there. Maybe he didn't. But I think that Josh is that type of player. Josh is like, yo, listen, if it's better for the team, let's try this. Let's give it a shot. I don't know that we look as strong as we normally look. Let's make some adjustments. But however many ways you slice it, I think you have to go from the top down. And I think the way you start is at least entertaining and taking a look at a possible change in coaching. And we spoke about a couple of opportunities that are out there, a couple of coaches that we'd like to see. But even if you don't, I think you have to shake it up a little bit. And that's where it would start. We can have the conversation about Cat and we'll go into that. But I do want to hear what my colleagues have to say about that.
Wow, what you think, baby?
Me? I think I agree and disagree. There's not a couple. We don't say there's a couple of ideas out there, coach. Y'all have one coach in mind. There's only one coach that when people be like, we got a couple of options of coach, there's one coach that everybody wants. The Knicks go out there and get another coach, and it's not Malone, we're gonna have a problem with that. There's one coach that the Knicks want. That's it. Like who else? What's another coach?
Jeff Van Gundy.
Yeah.
Wait, he's an assistant somewhere right now, right? I forgot.
Stan Van Gundy. Stan Van Gundy.
Stan Van Gundy's been watching a lot of basketball, man. He's been watching for years now.
No, Jeff is on Ty Lue's bench right now, I believe.
Yo,
and he stepped the offensive. Yeah.
Stan Van Gundy is Tom Thibodeau with hair, with better hair. Like what are we?
Yeah,
he's the same guy.
I
we just want a different last name. Just say that. Like I just don't want Tibbs back there. That's the same coach.
Mike D'Antoni. Fuck it.
I want somebody in between D'Antoni and Tibbs.
And
D'Antoni plays no defense. Tibbs can't play any offense. We got to go somewhere in the middle.
If we can melt those motherfuckers into one person,
the only problem with that is
I would want.
Pat Riley is running a team as a GM. That's the only person going to be between D'Antoni and Tibbs.
That would be the guy, right?
Pat fucking Riley. But I feel like this, like I said in the other day in the show. You run it back. Streets want a body, but the streets ain't playing ball. You know what I'm saying? I'll suffer just like you suffer, Cash. Run it back. This is just one in 1 year. This team managed to make it to the Eastern Conference. Say there was a little bit of luck. Say it was certain teams got snake bitten at the right time, and the Knicks took advantage of it. Whatever you want to call it, whatever you want to call it, right?
Yep.
You run it back. You let this team really try to figure each other out. You make some tweaks as it pertains to your depth. If you're looking for some veteran presence, we don't need another superstar. We just need some. We need a better bench. We need a better second unit. So instead of us staggering minutes, we can actually go with a different lineup that could still push the pace or give another team another look, where we can put Jalen Brunson in charge of team two, or let the second unit run through Cat, but you still have the ancillary pieces where it's like there are other scorers coming up the bench. Maybe we shore up the defense. You get a better defensive wing, but you give Tom Thibodeau a half a year. Like I told you, Tibbs is not.
You give him a half. You give him
You,
half.
you,
Okay.
you don't. Tibbs is not off the hot seat. You give Tibbs until the All Star break to give him a legitimate look of what the Knicks look like at that point, right? And at that point, if you need to make a change, you make the change where you bring, and don't give it to an interim coach either. You make the change where it's kind of like, yo,
Yeah.
we're moving this direction and we're gonna make a. That's when you go after it. If the team don't look how you think it's supposed to look by the All Star break, Tibbs, we gotta go in another direction. Point blank,
I
period.
only
But
push back to that, Ryan. I'm sorry to interrupt
no,
you.
no problem.
We're gonna look great at the All-Star break. We look great at this fucking All-Star break. What's the difference?
Yeah, we were third in the league in offense. We was moving.
What's the difference? We're gonna look
Yeah.
great. We
The
know we're
Denver
gonna look
Nuggets,
great.
the
And
Denver
then Tibbs
Nuggets,
is gonna look good. Then
And then
Tibbs is
Tibbs
gonna
is
look.
gonna look good.
The
How do you
Denver Nuggets-
fire a guy?
the
with
Denver
third?
Nuggets looked great throughout their season. Still fired their head coach
They fired him at
because
the end of the year because of
No, but-
discrepancies, not because of where
no,
the
they
team
fired
was
him
at.
during the season.
But Jay, here's how you evaluate, Jay.
It's not about the record at that point. It's not going to be about.
It's not about the
what
record.
the
Is
Knicks
he
record
utilizing
It's
his
gonna
bench?
be
Is he
about,
trying to make
how do
a
these
conscious
wins look?
effort?
Right. How do
Right.
the wins look? And it could be we have a winning record, but some of these losses are indicative of how we lost in playoffs. Like, you can't lose like that. If we continue to see our team lose games in this fashion, right, where we were up 20 points in the fourth quarter and lost the game by 10. Or, now we got to go to overtime because for whatever reason, Tibbs, you're not making the adjustment defensive wise. We have to shore things up. So
Which is
the Knicks
crazy
could
because
be
he's a
the Knicks could
defensive
be
guy.
like 20-4 by the All-Star break, and the Knicks is rocking and rolling. How you gonna fire Tibbs? Because those 4 losses looked crazy. That's why. Those 4
That's
losses.
ridiculous. That's
Can
a
I
ridiculous
say
take,
something?
though, Rob. Because go ahead, Al. Because
Nah. Go ahead.
Because if
Go
you
ahead.
do that, you lose the team. We're forgetting that there's 11, 12 guys that still have to play the game of basketball. If you tell me that you're taking, and I'm on the team, and we're 20-4, and you take away the coach that has us there because y'all say that we don't look good at 20-4, the morale of the team is shot. You
That's
will
not
lose
true.
that team.
That's not true. If there's trends, I'm gonna tell you why that's not true. If you'll allow me, I'll tell you why that's not true. The conversation's already being had. They're already
Do it
asking.
now.
Time out. They're
Okay.
already asking
Yeah,
Jalen
he's gotta go
Brunson,
now.
is Tibbs the coach? So if the team is aware that these are things that we need to shore up, and Tibbs is aware that these are things that we need to shore up, you're not gonna lose the team. The team is aware, like, look, if we want this coach to be our guy, they're gonna look at him and say, "Oh, Tibbs, show us something new," or bring in an assistant coach that can. If it's not gonna be your mind, go find us an assistant coach that can install different defensive package scores that's going to help us so that we don't look like this, so that we can stay together as a team. If that doesn't happen, you're not going to lose me. You're great.
Middle of the
Look,
year, you create a cognitive
Yeah.
dissonance because now you
It's
have
not.
an old program and a new program coming in with a new coach. That team's going to look a
Yeah.
mess.
Yeah, I
Yo,
agree.
the
I
Celtics-
don't
And then
think
our
Tibbs is
season-
getting-
our
look like a
season's
mess
done.
when they got rid of
If we
Udoka
do, if
in
we
middle
wait
of
to the
season
middle,
and they brought what's his name in, it can happen.
Hold on, D. You go next.
yeah, I don't want to cut off, but I think if we give Tibbs to the middle of the season,
Mm-hmm.
and then we decide, oh, it's not looking right. Oh, what's our chances in the playoffs then? Like, he's got to go now. Like, if we're gonna make a change, we got to make it now. Let them get through the off season with this new voice, this new culture in the locker room, and then we make the run.
Immediately. You're
Not
immediately gonna lose
not
the
through
locker
the
room.
half season.
I'm gonna tell you why Rod's right. You know why you might lose the locker room, because Tibbs is Brunson's guy, and that's your best fucking player. You know what I'm saying? he advocates for Tibbs any chance he gets. Let me play this quick clip of Jay Williams on Tibbs, and then I want you guys' reaction on this. Check this out.
Expectations have changed for this team. And
I
should move on from Tibbs.
I don't think the Knicks should move on from Tibbs right now, but I think it's okay to say that it's open that he will be on the hot seat. And I say that because expectations have changed for this team. And I think that's okay to reset those expectations. Tibbs has been trending in the right direction. But I think there are some things that you need to see do also combine with personnel, and that's on Leon Rose and Worldwide West to make sure that the personnel fits to give the Knicks the best opportunity to win a championship. But I think you need to see some innovation from his offense. I said it earlier at the top of the show, essay. 90s basketball in the age of 2025 is not going to get it done. And I'm talking about offensively and defensively. Like, there is an extreme called load management that we loathe at. There is an alternative to that extreme on the opposite end, which is called physical exhaustion and being tired. And that's what we saw. We gave the stat of 770 more minutes than.
I think, pause, Jay hit it right on the money. You know what I'm saying? I think he hit it. And this is what I want to say, man. If I was to play devil's advocate with Tibbs, and I agree, the minutes are too much. I've been saying this for years. Everybody's like, oh, you're the minutes police. No, man, the minutes are too much, right? One extreme, like Jay said, is the load management. The other is playing your players, beating them into the ground. I think Tibbs is a good coach. Like I said earlier, we're in the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time in 25 years. Yeah, there's issues. But here's what I want to say. And I'm gonna play devil's advocate. There were some things maybe possibly out of Tibbs' control. We don't know if he really wanted Cat. We don't know if he was really 100% comfortable basically converting this team from last year, which was what? A defensive-minded team with one of the best benches. We had one of the best benches in the league. I ain't been that far. Y'all remember that shit. One of the best benches in the league to a offensive team with a skimpy bench. And mind you, the team was like top 3, top 5 in offense, in the beginning of this year. And one more thing. Yes, we lost to the Pacers. I hate losing to the Pacers. Brings back all the history from the Melo years, from the Reggie Miller years, the Davis guys years, Davis boys years, right? But let's not act like the Pacers is no bums, man. Like it, since I read the stats since they are bums, but since January, the two best teams in the NBA have been who? OKC and the Pacers, and they both made it to the finals. Now Tibbs is stubborn. He plays guys too many minutes. He needs to come off that bullshit and needs to address his offensive inadequacies because the offense is antiquated, man. I don't know who wants to jump in.